Hey there, welcome, welcome. So glad to have you in the studio with me. It has been over a month since I have been with you in the studio, and I'm so glad that you're here with me. I'm having to get used to this live stream system again. It's been quite some time. We had some family things going on and the end of school and summer starting, and then not quite, because here in the mountains about a week ago we had our hopefully final snowfall. And it's still kind of cold and rainy here in the mountains, but we're moving towards spring. So I hope it's great wherever you are. This is my Learn to Paint journey. If you've been here before, you know how it works. My name is Steve, and I am learning to paint using oil paints. And so we are starting a new painting this evening. I have been working over the last almost 6 months to paint to finish a lot of the paintings that are here in my studio that I started in acrylic, with acrylic painting, and we've been finishing that with oil. And so, tonight we're going to start a brand new one. Every week I bring you along for the journey. You can participate in the live stream wherever you're watching us, on the comments, whatever platform you're on, whether that is YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you're finding us, Twitch. I'm so glad that you have found me, and I enjoy interacting with you. So please feel free to chat with me, ask questions. I like to explain kind of what I'm thinking and what's going on. So yeah, let me show you what we're going to do, and we will get right to it. All right, let me get set up over here. I am going to bring you to, actually this, oh, it's kind of blurry. There it goes. All right, I'll bring you right there. And there's a few people popping into the live stream. I'm so grateful for you. Welcome, welcome. It is good to have you. Let me show you what we're going to be doing. I'm going to set up my, this is the reference. A few weeks ago, I went to a friend's family farm, and this old truck, these couple of old trucks were in kind of an old storage barn area, and I just thought they looked interesting. So we're going to paint those this evening. Let me also add this. This is my palette right here, so you can see the paint I'm mixing and see what's going on there. All right, let me get my camera turned around, plugged in, and focused, and then you'll be able to see my palette or my easel. That way you can see what I am painting. All right. Come on. There we go. Okay. This is a 7x9 panel. So we will get that set up. So it's not too big, but I want you to be able to, you're a little bit to the right. Let me see. There we go. All right. Here we go. Welcome to you all who are joining us. So glad to have you. Again, feel free to engage with the live stream, ask questions, make comments. So good to have you as we dive into this brand new painting. Let me get myself set. It has been so long since I have painted that I scraped my tray here, added new paint, although a couple of them were still fairly wet, so I probably could have used a couple of them. It's crazy how long oils stay wet. Certain pigments. All right, we are going to go in and we are going to draw some of this. Basically, I want to put in my main structures. Welcome, welcome. A few more people popping in. You can, like I said, engage in the comments wherever you're watching. Feel free to say hello or pop in. Stay as long as you'd like. And join us for this fun little adventure in Paintland. Okay, I'm going to take some of this and I'm going to water it down with some mineral spirits so that I can kind of draw with it. And what we want to do is kind of get the main proportions and image correct. So that's what we're going to try first. Let's see. Okay. That main line, the perspective all the way to the back, I think is the most important. So let's try to draw that in. Coming up like right in here. Whoops. Because that leads us back. Now I have kind of morphed a couple of these in Canva, these images. For instance, this storage bin back here was not in the picture. You can, if you look closely, you can see my botched kind of job there. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? What I should do is, where is my, somewhere here I have a, thought I had a, I do, a ruler, and I should get my, especially because we're, hey there. Thanks for joining. Let's see, I'm just adjusting my reference so that I have the exact proportions. I mean, I have the proportions, but so that it is the same on my screen as my canvas, because that will give me a much better idea of where things should be. Okay. Yes, yes. All right. We got it. Instead of me guessing, that's one of the things that I want to work on in the next few months is improving my understanding of perspective and proportions. So when I started thinking about what makes a successful painting, I started thinking, about perspective, proportion, and things like lines, color, of course. So we'll kind of adjust as we go. I think this is relatively correct. Okay. Right in. Again, we're just kind of coming in here, seeing what we can do. I force myself to kind of freehand these things so that over time, hopefully, I get better. That's the goal, at least. I have to adjust fewer times or fewer. I'm not used to painting man-made things, and so it is good to push myself to kind of look at these things and try to put them in the right. I want to put in, again, enough of the landmarks that I can see when things are off, but I want to simplify things as well. So if you see something that's way off, please let me know. This truck is off, I think, but let's see. There's the top. We'll see. We'll have to adjust that a little bit. I'm trying to draw. It's so easy to get sucked into drawing what you think you see as opposed to what is actually there. That's where things start to really look off, when there's stuff you know is there in your mind, but it's not actually there. So let's just keep going, see what we can do. I think the main lines of this are correct, so that's good. I want to get this as good as possible because that will help me see if I can carve out kind of the negative space. Sometimes that really helps. That's why I'm putting this in. All right, let's see. I think the first thing then, I have left the sky pretty much. But I think we can go in and do the sky because that will be really I'm gonna, what can we do? These are, do C. With the sky. Let's see. I'm going to go with a really big brush. Let's see. Mix up the sky color. Let's go in here, start, actually, before we do that, let us go in and actually, nope, that's not the way to do it. Just trying to carve using the paint or the image as a reference, not an exact. Do know. Put some and we'll fix up all these edges in a minute, but this gives us now, let's take want to put in edges of these upper clouds. All right, we are just mixing these in, so bring in a little bit of that burnt umber in to these, giving us a little color in the sky. Because if they are stark white, then they will look very strange. But we need to figure out how to, like, whoops, in the distance we want these distance clouds to be very flat, because if they're too wide, then they don't look, again, the perspective is off. So we want the biggest, puffiest clouds to be up kind of in the front. And then we want them to kind of flatten out as they go in the distance. Same here, we want kind of as they reach the horizon to be, they can stack, but do, take a little bit, create a shadow color, and put some shadows in. So underneath these clouds, it gives them a shape. am still figuring out clouds. I've been working on these for years. Figure them out. Hey there, Shirley. It's so good to be back in studio. Thanks for popping in. I appreciate it. Let's see. I'll come in and we'll just keep working on this. Okay, the other thing that I need to correct is this was taken on a friend's family farm just northwest of Wall, South Dakota. So I want a little bit of lighten this up. Okay, we're taking a little green in here. And we're gonna try to, around this horizon, we want to green it up a little bit. We want to, and lighten it, which I should have done before I added the clouds, but that's okay. Because as we get closer to the horizon, we are looking through much more atmosphere. And so you'll notice on the actual reference photo, it's lighter and less saturated down here as we get closer. So I do want to take that up into the sky a little bit. That will give us a more realistic sky for sure. Won't look so cartoony blue, if that makes sense. There, see, even just that little, it's a small thing, but it definitely makes a difference. Definitely makes a difference. Especially when we get out in the distance. If you get like a gradient. See how that looks like our eye just knows that we're more distant because of this kind of green gradient that goes up, and then it's more blue there. So our eye reads it as in the distance because that's how the sky works. That's one of those little things you learn about painting or drawing, or you learn to observe in a different way, but it's really valuable if you can observe. Okay, let's start putting some things in place. I would like to do some our darkest values so we can key in our values. So I'm going to do kind of the dark. Where would you say our darkest values in this reference photo are? What do you guys think? I think one of them is right here. Under this truck for sure. Hey there, Daniel. So good to see you, my friend. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you are well. Again, I am just working on carving in negative space and something's off in this. Something's off in my proportions here, but that's how you make adjustments. know there is a, let's see this. Come down here. All right, we're starting to see a excuse me. Sorry to cough in y'all's ear. Up, up, up. Okay, let's do a little burn into this. To tone this down, but we need it still to be wood. There. Now. We'll put the main value in, make sure we have the right values. Can always then okay. Yeah. There. Now, that in. Okay, now we want this kind of bring in a little darkness to it. Hey there, Sharon. So good to see you. There we go. We got the illusion. Now we need some dark. On this side, we need it actually darker. But we need some shadow here. Okay. let's keep moving, y'all. Okay. Keep on moving. we are making good progress, I think. The proportions of the cab are a little off, but I'm pretty happy with this and the sky. So part of it. But we just keep making adjustments. A little bit of... I don't really know what this color is, but we're gonna put it on and see what happens. Okay, we need some sun. So this is gonna be our sun color. Also comes right in here. All right. Little by little, the thing is appearing. This is going to be a really, I think, a good underpainting. Good place to start. This is I want to push this a little more than the reference photo, because I want that blue and yellow to play off each other. So I want a little more yellow down here. Then, and this red and green will also kind of coordinate as well. So we will put in surprise, surprise. Didn't realize you. Yeah, I wasn't sure I was going to. I wanted to because I need to get back into it. It's been at least Easter. So I was like, I need to get back into it. So I made myself, but didn't want to broadcast it too much in case I decided not to, if that makes sense. Okay, this will give us the idea, the feeling of the overgrowth, and then I can come in and put in once it's dry, but there. Really looks kind of cool, doesn't it? Now I gotta go back and I think I want to go back and do a little bit of work on this. I want to push this back, so I need it darker. I want to push this definitely behind the car and kind of back further than this wall of aluminum. So I'm not sure how to do that. So we'll play around with it a little bit. Let's see if I do darker. Does it push it back? Yeah, I think that's what's going to be. Yeah, thanks, Bob. This is something obviously I don't normally do. This is a family farm of a friend outside wall that I visited several weeks ago, and I just saw these trucks in the kind of in an old rundown building, and I thought, oh, that would be interesting. Mostly because it would make me work. I don't normally do man-made subjects, and so this is really good because it really makes me think and try something totally different than what I normally do. That makes sense. Okay, this, yeah, getting this darker really pushes that back. Now, gotta figure out how to differentiate this. Because this wasn't originally in the picture, so I think I need to probably de-emphasize it. So, yeah, that's a... too bright. Ah, boa noite. E muito obrigado. Como você está? Tudo bem? Como está a tua família? All right. We are winding up here, about 15 minutes left. Let's see. This is wet on wet, so can't really do a whole lot. But we can maybe give some form to some of these things. Oh, let me move this a little bit so it looks a little better. I'm going to come right under here. And bring this right up to, again, give us a dark edge, and maybe trying to kind of see what I can do with this. I don't know that I'm doing anything at all, but that's okay. Again, this is wet, so I'll let it dry and then take another shot at it. Now, I'm not sure what to do in these back in here, the windows, so we'll just kind of put that in and try to do, this is way off this I don't know. Gotta try to correct this a little bit, little by little. Okay, let's see. Okay, that feels right, but this needs to come out more here. So then this needs to come out more there. Is that, I think, a little better? Little better, little better. We shall see. We shall see. It is fun to try something that I'm not really too good at. Definitely pushes the edge of my skill. That's good. There. It just kind of looks weird. Obrigado, muito obrigado, amigo mío. Meu amigo. Desculpe. Little by little. Just gotta kind of and I think then need to take some of this over. Let's see if we can. Is that a little better, y'all? I need the feedback. Is that a little more true to? I should probably step back away from it. That would probably help. Step away from the painting. Okay, let's go back. Okay, it's not terrible, but I do think this is up a little high, so don't know. And I do think that this comes a little further this way, like this. There. Yeah, I think there's this line, a little there. I think that kind of helps it a little bit. Hey, thanks, Bob. Me too. Me too. It was so good to catch up with you. You'll have to keep me posted Thursday. Hope everything eases up a little bit. When I step away, I like it more than when I get close to it, so that's good. That is good. This is more. All right, we'll wrap this up. About 5 minutes here. Let me just see if I can. This feels like it needs to be more. Something like that. Again, my goal is to get the major components in. Okay, I feel like there needs to be big, bright. Okay, the light there. There. There, and that now the front end is starting to look a little more correct, isn't it? Hey there. Thanks for popping in here. We're almost at the end, but appreciate it. It's been so long since I've been in the studio that it is just good to be back in. For sure. Let's see. That's way too bright. So, need some like blue, but it's got to be bright but shadow. Bright but shadow. Maybe there. Add some blue to it or green. There. That kind of ruins it, doesn't it? That's all right. That's all right, because we got plenty to go. Okay, I want to do some of this. Oh well, we'll come back to it. I can't do too much because I'm in wet on wet now and it's just smearing. So let me do a little, the last 3 minutes here. Let me just reestablish some of these darks if I can. That'll help me also to helps to create the shape again if we put all the shadows in. There we go. Do. Dark, dark, dark. Okay. Well, I could keep dinking around with this forever. However, our time is at an end. Therefore, I will not keep messing with it. I will let it dry and then do another layer, correct some stuff. Probably 2 more sessions with this. At least we will let it dry, come back, correct anything that is really out of proportion. But I think we got a pretty good start on it this evening, especially not having been in the studio for over a month. I feel really good. It is good to be back in the saddle, so to speak. And creating again. Reminds me how much I love this hobby. I've been a lot more of my time non-hobby things, although I have been doing a lot of practicing pipe organ. I think I mentioned that to you all, that I started learning to play the pipe organ, and that has been fun. So this is cool. I think this will be a great little painting when it's done. So let me switch you back here. I will set up my camera to say goodnight to you all. I hope that you have a great week. I am planning to paint again next week, so I hope that you will join me. That is the goal, at least. Whoop. Here we go. Let's go back here. All right, I want to say thank you so much for everybody who joined me this evening. It's been a pleasure being with you. I hope you have a great week, and I will look forward to seeing you next week in the same place here primarily on YouTube at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Until then, have a great week.